So good afternoon from a overcast and cloudy South Florida today. James Golden, Bo Snerdley here. I had hoped to be with you. We had plans to be there. Sorry, I couldn't be there in person. Being there on videos, not quite the same thing. So hopefully next year we will all be able to see each other and to be in person, God willing. Uh, I'm glad to be a part of Lincoln Day with Jefferson and Clallam counties and those of you from all over the Olympic Peninsula. Listen, I want to start by saying thank you to everybody that has sent prayers and great thoughts as Rush goes through his treatment. As you know, this has been kind of a shocking year for all of us. This week, of course, we learned the president and the first lady have COVID. We are praying for their quick recovery as well. And of course, the news from Rush this year was just stunning. But the outpouring of people praying and being concerned has just been totally overwhelming. And thank you. It's been wonderful. And by the way, Rush is doing great right now. So we're going to keep praying that he continues down that path. I understand that you have some great officials, some great people running for public office there. Forgive me if I miss some of you, not intentional. I've been made aware of a few of you, though. Lauren Culp, who's, of course, running for governor, Joshua Freed, the write in candidate for lieutenant governor. And write in candidates work, by the way. That's how Lisa Murkowski is still in the Senate. Matt Larkin for AG, and we definitely need great attorney generals. We can see what's happening all over the country with that, how vital that role is. Dr. Elizabeth Kreiselmeyer, I hope I pronounced your name right, who's running for Congress. We definitely need more great representation in the House. Connie Beauvais for state senate, and you know how many things get trapped in your state legislature that have to be dealt with that impact not just your lives, family lives. Sue Penderson, Commissioner of Public Lands, property rights, very important. Maya Espinoza, Superintendent of Public Instruction. Now, I didn't know what that was. And then one of my friends said, hey, let me put it simple. The big issue here is keeping radical sex ed out of kindergarten. Who would believe we're in that place? But we are. Sue Ford and Brian Pruitt, who are running for the State House, and all of you who are running for office there, please, 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 we need your support to get these fine people elected. Um, Let me just talk about a few things, and I'll try to keep it short. You give me a chance to run my mouth. This could go on forever, but I'll try to keep it short. Um, I have been watching when I have some downtime, which is very rare, reruns of the Cosmos series on PBS with Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's the one when I was a kid that Carl Sagan used to host. And one of the episodes really caught my attention recently. I hope I can explain this properly. What he did was condense the timeline of planet Earth from the beginning. I say is when it was created, the scientists say at the Big Bang, till now, and what it would look like if it were on just 1 year of a timeline where events would fall into place. The condensed version of that, some of the things that caught my mind was that um, he said the birth, for instance, of Buddha and Christ would be measured in seconds, less than 10 seconds, on a year timeline of planet Earth's history in the cosmos. And that led me to think that America would be maybe 1 or 2 seconds old if you looked at the history of the entire world. This great nation would have only existed for 1 or 2 seconds, and look at all that we have accomplished. And that led me further to think about what America looks like in our own limited view of history going back a few thousand years. A few thousand years ago, the Chinese had a society, a functional governing society. If you go back, so did the Egyptians. If you go back even longer than our history and you look at where European history took off, um, we're talking now over 6, 7 centuries, and the United States is still the new kid on the block. But what have we done in America? We have changed the entire world. We have brought freedom, liberty to billions, literally billions of people on planet Earth. And when you look at the protests that are going on in our streets, you see it all too well in Washington State. You see what's going on in Portland. You see what's going on in other cities around, and you see all of these complaints about America. America being some kind of rotten country, a racist country, a country that doesn't appreciate or value life of black people, it's said, or other minorities, and you look at the destructive nature of the left and against what they see as injustice. And what they're not seeing is the remarkable strides that we have made in this country in, historically speaking, a fraction of a second. We have done incredible things. We're a nation that, at our foundation, still had one of the most evil, heinous practices in mankind, chattel slavery. But yet, in such a short period of time, historically, not only did we eliminate it, we have worked every single year since our founding to make life better for every American citizen. And has it taken time? Sure. But in the scope of history, it hasn't taken that much time. And we have so much more to offer the world. America is still the light of the world. We are still the place that people come when they want to advance, when they don't want to be trapped into paradigms of their life that are set up by who the family they are born to or the class that they're born into. This is the place, and we know this, it's a cliche, but it is true. This is a place where you can come here with nothing and become incredibly great, whether you see that greatness in terms of your personal liberty or whether you see it in creating wealth or creating something for your family that is a legacy. This is the country where you can still do that. And not only have we done it for our own people, we've shown other nations around the world who have been willing how to do it too. The European nations have been around much longer than us. Our opportunities, the opportunities here are so much greater than in Europe. If you look at some of the racial, if you look at it from a racial perspective, where's black president in Europe? Hasn't happened. We've done that. We have black African Americans, we have Hispanics, we have women, we have Asians, we have Indian Americans, both native and from India. We have people from Africa. We have representation in our legislative bodies from all over the world. You go to Europe, you don't see this. You go to China, you don't see it. You go to Africa, you go to some of the places that are longest known on the planet, like Egypt. You don't see it. Instead, you see in many places still oppression. You see rampant poverty. You truly see a disparity of income. Here are some of the wealthiest people in America are people that are African Americans, Hispanics, because here, if you have within yourself the ability to advance, you can do it with hard work. Now, is this a fairy tale that's going to come true for everybody? No, because life is not like that. But here we have more opportunities to self-realize than any other nation on the face of the earth. And I think, and I pray, that once again people will be grateful for this land that we live in, grateful for the opportunities that we have in America, grateful for what this nation is and for what all of our people brought to this nation, whether you were brought here in chains or whether you came here looking for a better way. This is the place that is the light of the world. And there's no place like the United States of America. There is no place like our home here in the United States of America. One of the things that I look forward to also is that the Republican Party should, and I hope will, get back to some of our roots. Our roots were born in bringing freedom to people that didn't have it. Lincoln Day, Abraham Lincoln, the struggle that we went through in the Civil War, guided by Abraham Lincoln, to actually bring America together, keep America together as a union despite very, very diverse differences that we had. And that's why he's regarded as one of the greatest presidents, of course, along with George Washington. And now I dare say in the future, sometime, Donald Trump could very well be regarded in the same esteem because he is a president that has taken the arrows, that has taken a tremendous beating from a very biased, ugly, unfair, despicable mainstream media who throws hate, not just at him, but at his family and the people that support him every single day. And yet, he fights for this country. He fights for what is right. I'm going to push the cough switch here, and I'll be right back. A nasty cough attack. But see, this is the gorgeous part about recording. You never saw it. So let me just wrap up. I've been speaking for about 11 minutes. I'm over time already. So let me just sum up by saying this. The Republican Party is the best hope for America to continue to prosper, to continue to bring freedom to people. We have the ability to become a much bigger tent, to engage with conservative African Americans who have the same values that you and I do and are willing to listen. And by the way, Donald Trump has been very successful in reaching a lot of those people. Let's see whether we can turn it into votes. We have to improve our get out the vote game, especially this year, because you know that we are being overwhelmed with states that want to go mail in so that they can have 6 to 14-day deadlines after the election to figure out how many votes they need so that they can steal the election. And if I were going to report this in the mainstream drive-by media, it would be without evidence, he says. We don't need evidence. We know what they do, and we know what they've done. Look at your state. We know how your governors get elected, especially out of King County where you have more votes than you have voters. We've seen the same thing with Al Franken. This is not, when we talk about fraud, it's not, we're not pulling stuff out of thin air. We have had people in office who are fraudulently put there from the Democrat Party, and you know that better than most people. So yeah, we have to have a great get out the vote game. For all of your candidates running there, we have to support them. For all of our candidates running across the country, we have to get people out to the polls. We have to. We have to overwhelm them with people that are going to vote on election day and get up such numbers that they cannot overcome them. We also have to keep in mind that the demographics of America are changing. We have to become a bigger party if we are going to succeed. I started a PAC earlier this year to try to help bring African Americans to the table with a change in vote. That's New Journey PAC is the name of it if you want to look at some of the work that we've been doing. And we put our work up. We put up our ads. We put up everything so people see transparently what we're doing. This is not one of those schemes where it's a PAC where the consultants get rich and there's no work done. We're actually doing the work. I just want to say that because I have been so troubled by what I've learned behind the scenes this year, but that's another story about how Republicans lose elections and how people get rich when Republicans still lose elections. That's for a different day. We have to overwhelm liberals at the poll. We have to win. We have to reelect this president if America is going to stay America. With that, I'll just say God bless all of you. Hopefully, I'll be there next year in person. Hopefully, we can all hang out next year together. And thank you for your attention. God bless you, and God bless this wonderful nation of ours.